Hello and welcome to the Year 5 Parent Information Presentation 2021. The teaching staff in Year 5 this year are class teacher me, Mr Hill, and our teaching assistant this year is Miss O'Keefe. At St George's we use the Power Maths scheme, and in Year 5 children must know and understand the four operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, and be able to calculate these accurately. We also look at representing these in different ways to deepen children's understanding. Children should also be confident with all times tables following the times table check that they took in Year 4. In terms of addition, children will be using the column method of addition that can be seen on the right. Calculations involving decimals will test children's ability to line up place value columns accurately, putting placeholders where necessary. And you can see in the last image in the bottom right where a placeholder has been put into the calculation in red. Children will also be using the column method for subtraction, and again you can see some examples on the right where there are multiple exchanges that children will have to calculate. Calculations involving decimals will again test children's ability to put in any missing placeholders and align the columns correctly. Both short and long multiplication will be introduced to children by making comparisons with the grid method that they would have done in previous years. This will help to build their understanding of place value of each digit within the calculation. So we'll build from concrete examples to pictorial examples and then to the abstract examples of short and long multiplication. With division in Year 5, short division calculations with remainders will build on children's knowledge of short division from Year 3 and Year 4. This will include work on how remainders can also be converted into decimals. And if children are confident and accurate in using this method, then they will be introduced to long division, dividing any number by a 2-digit number. At St George's, our aim is to cultivate the children's love of reading. Therefore, they will be expected to read at home every evening. This can be any text type of their choice, whether it's fiction, non-fiction, newspaper article. Children currently have a reading book from the class reading corner while we redesign the library, but once that's up and running, each child will be issued with a library book. In school, we also have time during the day for children to do silent, independent reading. When producing written work, it's really important for the children to punctuate their sentences correctly and accurately, using bits of punctuation that they have been taught in previous years lower down the school. There is also a huge focus in the curriculum on grammar, with sentences being written in the appropriate tense for the text type consistently. Throughout the year, we will be exploring a range of high quality texts with learning journeys leading to children independently writing outcomes in a variety of genres. So in the autumn term, we look at Street Child as our book in English, and we do a narrative based on that book where children put themselves in the role of the character. We also write a biography all about Dr. Bernardo as part of our learning about the Victorians. So we vary the text type that children write in. In Year 5, weekly spellings will be sent home on a Friday and then tested the following Friday. Children are expected to spend time at home learning their spellings, so some ways they could do this are look, cover, write, check, writing each word in a sentence, finding out the meaning of any unfamiliar vocabulary, looking out for any spelling patterns. They can also find words that are similar or words that are opposite and just explore each word as part of the learning process. This year, our wider curriculum will be centred around big questions. Each term we will focus on a different question. So in the autumn term, that's our Discover term, so it has a history focus, and we look at the Victorians in particular, but our big question is, should we accept our place in society? So we look at lots of different roles in society, both in the modern day and in the past, and compare those to make judgments about whether people should have accepted how they were treated and the place that they were given in society. In spring term is our Explore term, which has a geography focus, and in Year 5 we focus on water, rivers and lakes. And our big question is, do we always appreciate what we have? and we do some work into droughts and water shortages, as well as plastic pollution. Summer term, our create term, has an art focus, and our big question is, should we always believe what we see and hear? And in particular, we focus on space, and we look at the moon landing, and we sort of build balanced arguments, and we look at whether what we're always told and what we're always shown is true or not. So these big questions are just a way to get children thinking a little bit more deeply about the topics and the subjects they're learning, and to make links between each of them. PE for Year 5 this year will be taught on a Wednesday and a Friday. Children must come to school wearing their PE kit on these days. This is something we tried last year and we found worked really, really well. So that's something we're going to continue. In terms of educational visits for Year 5, in the autumn term we do the Victorian Experience trip. This is to Bliss Hill Victorian Town in Ironbridge. We also sign up for the Young Voices concert, which is a collection of different schools and different choirs that come together to sing a collection of songs. In spring term, we go to the Edgbaston Reservoir as part of our work on water. We also do our place of worship visit, so in Year 5 it's to the Buddhist pagoda. In the summer term, we go to the Space Centre to link with our work on space, and there's also the Cornwall trip, which now restrictions have been lifted, hopefully will happen this year. On the screen now is just a knowledge organiser for our first big question this year, which is, should we accept our place in society? So you can see different objectives for the different subjects and which ones in particular link to the big question itself. We also have 4 keywords, which are fairness, prejudice, adversity and reform, and we encourage children to make links and have conversations about those words and how they link to the work that we're doing in all wider curriculum subjects.